Relax, the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join your host, Ron, as we talk all things Philadelphia Flyers and Lehigh Valley fandom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc. with your very special guest host, Mr. Russ Cohen. How you doing, Russ?
Good, Ron. How are you?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I could be doing a little bit better, but hey, it is what it is, right? You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
We take the good with the bad, right? Some good, some bad. Okay, right? But how about this? Thank you, Russ, for hopping on here and joining us here at the Hockey Writers Inc. We are dealing with episode number 216, and the Flyers drop a home and home to the Canes. Uh, and the Phantoms are still in third, miraculously. Okay, let's dive right in here. You know what I mean? Okay,
hmm
right? I want to go on record right now, Russ, before we even start getting into things, and I want to go on record right now and say this. We've talked about it in numerous shows. We've said it on many multiple occasions, but I'm going to say it right now, officially, formally, right now. The Philadelphia Flyers will not, repeat, not make the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The other day when I did a show, I looked it up. They were about 31.5%. They got 1 point, so I think it went up to 35. It's one of the lower percentages of the teams that have a chance to make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. And I think they'll have a decision to make when the trade deadline hits because uh, they may have to still sell off, even though like Keith Jones doesn't want to do that. They may have to do that.
Okay. Well, so before that's going to happen, I think we're going to see Ristolainen come back.
Yeah, he'll be back. Will he
Okay.
stay in the lineup?
Uh,
Can he get traded that day? I don't know. Yeah, he's been hurt the last two trade deadlines.
right. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. You know what I mean? If he comes back, do you think he's going to get traded right away as soon as he comes back?
I mean, that's what I would do, but chances are no.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. He should have never gotten paid that big ugly contract to begin with, if
Well,
you
that's a
ask
whole
me.
other thing. I mean,
Yeah, right. That's another show, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Speaking of other shows, by the way, thank you folks out there very much for tuning in and checking us out, making us one of the top 15 of all Philadelphia Flyers podcasts. Thank you so very much for that. Really appreciate you guys hitting that like button, smashing that subscribe. Make sure you do that so you can get notified when Russ and Ron get it. The R's. Hey, when we're out there doing the Hockey Writers thing, so you got to be sure to check that out. We also cover the Phantoms as well too. So, all right, the games against the Canes, home and home. Um, we really thought this was going to be a measuring stick for the Flyers. The,
Well, it kind of was.
okay, right, and Carolina came in missing Slave in the first game, but not the second game, right?
Right.
And the first game was really not the Flyers' MO because they scored the first two goals.
hmm
Right. And then the second game, Carolina scored the first two goals. Okay,
hmm
right. So that was more along the Flyers there. You know what I mean? So why? Maybe a better question would be this: is there something in the water there in Philly that is preventing the coach from playing certain players in certain situations?
No, I mean, listen, he right now he's still trying to um, work things out. So he is going to basically send a message to players via minutes. Like that's what he's doing. And you know, that's what old school coaches do. So be prepared for that. That's the way this season's going with that.
When you compare this season to last season, right? Virtually the same record, virtually the same number of points.
Well, it's not the same record. It's more like that 2 years ago record. But yeah, it's close.
Okay, but all we did was change coaches.
Well, I
Well,
mean, and you
but
got Zegras and
right.
so there's a couple things. But um again, it was one of those things where I think fans were like, "Hey, look, um, we get better goaltending, it's going to be, like a 6 or an 8 point swing.
right? You
Well,
get
it's
the
not going to
Zegras,
be
you get right.
because other teams upgraded their goaltending. So then it's like, well, if the defense is better, uh, that's going to add something. Well, the defense is better. It's a top 10 defense, but they can't score.
Right.
And scoring is down. And so they're playing the differential game. We watched the Islanders do that for years under Lou Lamoriello. I think
Yep.
this year's closely resembling the first year of John Tortorella because, again, he did it the same way. He
Yeah.
was trying to go gangbusters early to try and make the playoffs. They fell short in the end, and then things, got to more
Yeah.
of a rebuild after that. And I
Yeah.
think there'll be a point this year where that will hit them, that will hit this coach. And
Like
I
it
don't know
did.
when that's going to be, but I
Yeah.
think it's going to be when players run out of gas and energy, like Sean Couturier is, like Travis Sanheim might. Even Cam York comes back uh, and he plays 24 minutes right away. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, and he's fine. I think he'll be fine with that. Sanheim, we'll see. If he makes the Olympic team and he's playing all these minutes, good luck when he comes back because, he played 31 minutes. I get it's an overtime game, but 31 is a tremendous amount. It's just too much.
It is.
And
It is.
and that second game, Andre got his minutes cut. Coach is like, hey, he was struggling a little bit. Okay, I mean, he is going to have some struggles out there. Like he is a
Yeah.
young player, a
Yeah.
young developing player. That's going to happen. But the problem is, it's a double-edged sword here. So you take him away from Drysdale, who actually that was a good pairing because they
I
did
agree.
complement each other well. They
I
both were
agree.
good with the puck, all of that. So now you're losing that, and you are now limiting the ice time of a guy who's one of your better puck movers and gets shots on net from the blue line, which not a lot of guys do. And so now you're limiting that to have fewer mistakes. And that's what old school coaching does sometimes. And I don't fully agree with it, but this is where they're headed right now. And it's going to get worse when Ristolainen comes back.
Yeah.
I think there's a good possibility that Andre gets sent back.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then maybe, they cut bait with somebody like Zamula. Maybe that happens, or they trade him. Like I would have traded him already because I know Ristolainen's coming back in like a week.
Right.
All the signs are there. So,
Right.
but something's going to happen with that. So I don't know. I don't know how exactly. And listen, it's not like if you traded Noah Juleson, anybody's going to say anything. He's been okay.
Right.
So some team would take him, but you're going to have to do something because you're going to have too many defensemen and not enough of them are going to help you in the future. That's really the big thing. But nobody's talking about the future. Everything's now. So,
See, that's what I wanted to get at, Russ. That's exactly what I was pining for right there. You said it. Everybody is talking about now.
except
And
for
as
Danny Briere. Danny Briere does continue to talk about the future, but everything else is now.
but okay, he may talk it, Russ, but it doesn't seem like he's doing it. Actions
Yeah.
speak, right? So you can say that you're looking to the future, but yet you're doing things to make sure that you have an opportunity to try to win now. And I'm not trying to take anything away from that per se, but what I'm trying to get at is this. If you're gonna admit to a rebuild, then embrace the rebuild and do it. And do it right instead of trying to what it feels like to me is like they're trying to rush it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah,
feels
there's
like
no
they're trying to
question.
rush it.
There's no question that there is, a head coach that would rather them win now. And I get it. I'm not telling him he should tank, but
Right.
I'm saying that playing more of your young guys is a better look for the future and better chance of you gaining success than sticking with the Julesons and sticking with eventually when Risto gets there and those guys. Like Murchison looked good, but he's getting sent back. So,
Right.
but he looked good. Like he should have
I
had a longer run, but he can't.
See, I was just going to get to that. I was just going
Yeah.
to get to that, to the fact that we got a tie debut, right? And he looked really really good.
Hmm.
And man, if that's going to be the future, can we see some more of that now? Can we have some of that now?
Yeah, well, the
Right?
coach doesn't want that.
Uh, uh,
I know. Listen, I mean, again, this is what happens sometimes in this league, and this is why rebuilds are hard because there's a big part of the fan base, I think bigger than um, what Coach Tuckett thinks and other people that want to do what you're saying, do the rebuild the right way, play the young players, play guys more minutes like Mitchkov and otherwise, and do that. And then I do think there's some that want to try and rebuild while you're trying to win. And it's nearly impossible to do that.
right.
And you're going to have bigger missteps that way. And, but I understand. I understand. I listen, when I wear this logo, I understand what futility looks like, and they're not
You
that
know.
bad. And they're not that bad. And so, but I understand like the want of tired of every 3 to 5 years, you're in the same boat again. Like I understand that, but they're not at that point right now, and they're actually at a decent point. I can't tell you for sure if it's going to be a huge success or not, but I can tell you that it's closer to being successful than not. But again, just the fact that is if people think that they're going to be in this playoff to the end, well, what is the degree you think they're going to be in it? If you say 4 points out, I can point out that 4 points right now not only get you into the playoffs, it can get you in the top of the division. And if it stays
Right.
like that all year, 4 points is going to be fool's gold because they don't have
Right.
enough regulation wins. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, and it's
And
starting to
you've
show up. The math
and
is
you've
starting to
said
show
it,
up.
and you said it multiple times on the show. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we even talked about the fact that you can't play the differential game because it doesn't work and blah 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 blah. I mean, all these
It
things that
works
we've
if you have like,
okay, we
goaltending
don't,
even better than what they're getting, and they're getting good goaltending, but it has to be even better than that. You
but
have to
we
have
don't.
goaltenders that pitch shutouts all the time, and they don't have that.
Exactly. Exactly. And we don't. We don't have a shutdown goaltender, right?
No, and
And
Dan
we
Vladar is good, but he hasn't like shut anybody out like 3 consecutive shutouts, like anything, nothing close to that.
or even two
Right.
or even one. Yeah, we'll take one. Hey, can we get one? Right? Like that was the biggest knock I think on Carter Hart when he was here, was the fact that he never had shutouts. Like,
Right.
how do you go through goaltending life and only have a handful of shutouts? Well, that means that you're probably not that good of a goaltender. uh,
Well, I don't think it's always that. Remember, the goalie's a function of the defense too. Um, Now last year, Vladar had 2 shutouts. He's
okay,
got four, so he has
but
four in
I
his career. It's not like he's got a lot, but I'm just saying.
but I hold that to like, look, I know this is like not even apples and apples, and I get it, but I'm talking about like you get like a guy like a Dominic Hasek who
Yeah.
is able to win games, is able to shut out teams, even though he's on a crappy team, even though his teams don't win, they have horrible defense, right? Yet he
Yeah.
still was able to shut out teams and still was able to steal a couple of games. Like you knew if he was in net, he was going to at least have the capability of stealing you a game or two or something like that. But we don't have anything remotely close to that in goal.
No, there's not one shutout this year, like you said, and I do find that a little odd for a team with a good defense and good goaltending. So I do think there's a little bit of an indicator there.
See, I look at all that minutia stuff. I'm
Hmm.
sick like that. Okay, I really am. And I look at these kind of things and I see trends, and then I see what the product looks like on the ice, and then you see the results of, hey, look at this trend. Hey, look at the product on
Hmm.
the ice. This is what's
Hmm.
going on. Right? This is what's called an analysis, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, man. Okay. I Do you think we're gonna get we're in a stretch now for the Flyers where the next couple of games are gonna be those yardstick type of games?
I mean, I think they're already in it. I think what are
Yeah.
they 5-2-3? They're starting to lose shootouts. Zegras isn't scoring in the shootout anymore because I think goalies have caught up to him a little bit, and he's going to have to change it up a little. I think
Yep.
some of those things have started to get caught up. So yeah, I think right now they're kind of in that.
Exactly. And it might not be pretty.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's. I mean, it's already not pretty
Montreal's the
from.
next game.
I know,
Montreal's the next
but
game,
they're
you
having
know.
some goaltending trouble. I mean, Jacob
Yeah.
Fowler is really good, but he's inexperienced, and Dobish started off hot and he's cooled
Right.
off a little bit. But
Same
they
thing with
score a lot of
Markov
goals.
too. Right.
They score a lot of goals. The Flyers don't score a lot of goals. So that's the biggest thing. When you're scoring like two a game, it puts a lot of pressure on the defensive goaltending, and a lot of times it's that third goal that decides it.
Yep. It
And
does. It
Montreal, even
is.
if you cut back their goals, like if you say, okay, the Flyers defense is going to do that, they're they're probably still going to score three goals.
At least. Because that's what they average. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
So
And Philly's average is what? 3.22? They allow 3.22?
yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Margin of error. This is why I understand. Fans are getting frustrated because they feel like with these Carolina games, oh, it was so close. Okay, yeah,
no, it wasn't.
you got your point, but you could see who the better team is. I think most people could
Clearly.
see that.
Clearly.
Um, but again, you get those points, so it kind of keeps you afloat. And those shootouts, those early shootout wins have kept them afloat.
And it looks like that's what's going to happen. It seems like that's exactly what they're building for again this year, Russ, where they
Well, I mean,
built
if you want to
those.
talk about overtime where they don't really press it to score, I'm with you because they do seem like they want it to go to the shootout when it's like 30 seconds to go in overtime rather than trying to win it outright. Maybe it's because they were undefeated in shootouts, but now they're not.
Now they're
And so
not.
now it's like,
Oh,
maybe you should have a better overtime strategy, like who
you
you're
know.
using and how you use them.
Hey, hey, are y'all listening to what this man just said? Right? Are y'all putting it together? Right? Because clearly things are not happening the way they probably should be. But okay.
I mean, it's not like they're poorly coached, but I do think some of these things are choices. That's all.
And some of these choices are, I think they're making some of the wrong choices as far as
That's fair to say. Yeah.
what it looks like, as far as how the team is playing and where what direction the team is going.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, we're 31 games in. Uh, so the other day it was like 36.5% of the season. It's a little more than that. So you
Right.
have a better idea now. And the thing is, it's going to be an absolute sprint after the Olympics. So it's from now until February that's going to probably decide the season for them because unless they are 2 points out, everybody's going to get improved. We hear about the Devils trying to make trades now, even though they didn't get Hughes. Some other trades have already happened. The Penguins already traded with their goaltending. They may
Right.
flip Skinner as well because they have a young Russian coming up. That's up, rather. He's up and he's
Yeah.
doing well,
Yeah.
Murashev.
Yeah.
And so I think it just gets harder.
Yeah.
And I think
Because
they
teams
banked some
around them are
early
getting better.
points. Right. I think they banked some early points, and that was good. But I think there could be some distance that starts to happen.
Yep. Yep. I think so too. I really do. And some of the other teams around them are getting better. Do you know what I
No
mean? And
question. I mean,
so
the Rangers will make a move or two. Uh, they're
Columbus
all
might
going
make a
to.
move or two. Yeah,
Columbus
exactly.
might. I mean, Columbus has definitely underachieved, so they may stay that way. But like they said, the Devils, they're 1 point behind, and they're
Yeah.
they're a more talented team.
Yeah.
When Jack Hughes comes back and they make a move, I think I think the Devils will be in better shape. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's what you're battling. You're not just battling. I looked at it the other day, and I think there's six teams for three spots. That's what I feel.
That's a little crowded, Russ.
Yeah, and I
you
think that's how
know,
it's going to be.
yeah, and it's probably going to be like that pretty much till the end, I think.
It
Just
looks
be
that way.
just owing to the nature of the condensed schedule, how things
Yes.
are playing out, the way things are looking right now. I
And
absolutely
they've had
agree.
a lot of home games, the Flyers, so they're going to have to be road warriors for
And
long
that
stretches too.
bill is going to come due too,
Yep.
and that's another look. I understand sometimes when you go out on the road, that can be a good team building
Hmm.
portion where you guys, hang out together, do a lot of activities and stuff together because you're out on the road and everything
I
else
mean, it
like
may come
that. And
down to them and the Penguins, but if it does, the interesting thing is like the Penguins power play is running at 32% this year. 32%.
ooh, ooh,
So
ooh.
that's something significant
If we could
when,
only dream of those kind of numbers.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like last year, the Penguins stunk And now this
Right.
year they're at least competitive, and that's one thing they have in their arsenal. If they get a little better goaltending now, they may pull away as well.
And that's what Philadelphia has not done. They've gotten a little bit better on the power play, but not significantly enough
No,
to
no.
make it be part of their tool belt.
Yeah, no,
The
and it's failing lately. Like lately, uh, that's
It's
been
less.
it's been a
It's getting
problem. Yeah,
less, right?
yeah.
You know what I mean too. So and their penalty kill has dropped, has dipped
It's starting to
significantly
drop, but I
too.
don't think it's because excuse me. I don't think it's because of the system. I think it's
Right.
because of guys like Couturier and Sandheim. They're playing too many minutes, and they're playing every penalty kill too, and they're playing power play at times too.
Yep.
Uh, Sandheim definitely,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so yeah, I think those minutes are adding up, and I think it's getting harder to penalty kill.
It is. It is. And teams are, and like you said before, teams are, they study their videos, right? And
Absolutely.
teams are catching on, you know what I mean? And so hence why the Zegras move didn't work on Boosie, you
I
know
mean,
what I
look, in
mean?
overtime um, against Vegas, I was talking to Mark Stone. Mark Stone said something interesting, and that was he heard the crowd react when Travis Konechny kind of was like moving poorly with the puck, almost fell or whatever, right? He heard that. He went right to the puck. He got it to his player, and he scored. And he said Jack Eichel made them become flat-footed when he got the puck. And those are important things, like because they had the right players out there for overtime. Stone is out there for defense, but he also can score.
Yeah.
But he's that smart,
Yeah.
and it's hard to find players that smart. So when you have
Yeah.
somebody like that and he can react that way, they get their 2 points.
Dude, I would kill to have a Mark
A
Stone
younger one,
on.
yeah.
Right. Okay. All
But
right.
I'll tell you something else Mark Stone said to me. I didn't get to put it in an article yet, but I hope to. He talked about sports science. I don't hear the Flyers talk about sports science enough. And because Mark Stone acknowledged, hey, I'm actually playing this time of the year because a lot of times he
He
hasn't.
hasn't, right?
And he credited the skating coach for having a plan for him, and he credited sports science. And he didn't
Yeah.
have to get into details about that because we
No.
kind of know what that is. But I
Yeah.
don't really hear Flyers players talking about that, keeping them healthy. And so it's another thing that Vegas is utilizing very well that is helping them because they've had a lot of injuries too. But imagine if they didn't have Mark Stone right now.
They wouldn't be nearly where they are right now.
No.
No, they wouldn't even nearly be the same team that they would be, even though they got the Jack Eichels and the
Yeah,
Mitch
and they got
Marners.
Marner
You
and
know
all
what I
that,
mean?
but
Right,
you
but
still
still,
need those
you,
guys too.
he's the glue kind of player that
He
keeps
is.
all that rolling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
like I said, I would kill to have a Mark Stone on our team.
And
I would even take him now.
I'm sure Eichel's on some sort of program too, because just because he had successful neck surgery and that whole disc replacement, I'm sure there's things that he has to do to maintain.
I'm sure there is, and if the Golden Knights are smart, they probably have somebody assigned to him to do that to make sure that he
Wouldn't shock
stays.
me.
Right. It wouldn't shock me at all, right? Okay, we're talking about professional sports. Here we're talking about guys that are making, upwards of $10 million a year or more. So I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, I guarantee you that the team said, yeah, you're gonna be following this guy right here. He's gonna be taking care of you, Mr. Eichel. you
No,
know.
and like every organization has it to a degree, but you don't know to what degree. And so I feel like Vegas has it to a high degree, and I feel like it's probably higher than Phillies. I don't have any real proof of that, but I'm just saying when you
Yeah.
hear players start to talk about it and you see success, you kind of have an idea.
And then when you see the team that you're trying to look at and they're not talking about it and they don't have the kind of success, then
Well,
you're
I
kind
mean,
of
the
like,
only
eh.
conversely, that time that Rick Tocchet sat Dan Vladar and basically was like, yeah, he has played a lot of games in a short amount of time. Let me know that if they did have a schedule for him, that he jumped it and changed it or whatever because he was winning. And you could see with Sean Couturier there, other than on back-to-backs and once in a blue moon, um, in a game that they're ahead, do they cut his minutes? Otherwise, they're not really cutting his minutes.
He's out there for everything.
And
He,
he had that problem with Torts year
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Same problem.
yeah, yeah.
And that was
So,
years ago. That was 3 years ago, right? So
and he's not even the same player then,
no.
right?
I mean,
That
unfortunately. And I know people don't want to hear it, but like he is what he is. He's still a useful player, but you have to sort of manage it and have him out there at different times. And I think he plays too much.
So that's exactly kind of that's another thing that I wanted to get into, even though we probably won't get into it on this show. But putting guys out there in the right situations and putting players out there that can do some damage out there. So like one of the things that I was thinking of is I would have Couturier out there for the face off because he's a lot better at face offs than anybody else on the bloody team.
Although
Like,
that's dropped a little, but yes, Abels is sort of caught up a little. I don't know what it is lately, but it is pretty good.
okay, so you got two guys on the team, and why aren't they out there taking the face offs when it's on the power play?
Yeah, they have Trevor Zegras doing it at times. I
I
mean,
mean, come on.
I know because they're trying
Anyway,
to prove a point. Like I get it, he's really good offensively, and they feel like if he can win the faceoff, they could score. But he's not always going to win the faceoff. So like, let's see. Lately, yeah, I mean, Zegras won 4 faceoffs last game against Carolina. He lost 3 the game before, and he won 1 of 2. Like he's sporadic.
right. So, but he's not
He's 41%. Like that's basically he was 36 last year. He's a little better. He's 41.
okay.
So like that's definitely a choice. Now let's see what's Couturier at currently. Couturier, he is currently at where we got it here.
See, like
Uh, oh, here we go.
46,
55.6, which is really good. But lately 47, 64, 41, 60, 40. So he's fallen off in
dipping a
some
little
of these
bit.
games
Yeah. Okay.
against better teams. So that's a fans have noticed that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then let's see what Obels is at.
He doesn't really take a lot of face offs, though.
No, but like against Colorado, he was 80%.
Wow.
Against San Jose, 44. Then he was 50. Then he was 60. But he's only 12 and a half against Carolina. For some reason, he got killed in Carolina. But those other numbers are pretty good. So you can throw him in there too for the, for the face off because he is a guy that does have strength. And then take him off the ice. Had somebody come in. You have the home change. So,
I mean, come on. It's not rocket science here, man.
but
You put the
he,
guy out there for the
but the
face
coach
off.
doesn't want to
He's
do it. So, it's not going to happen.
okay. Well, hmm. Well, then this is what you get.
Listen,
It is
people are going to
is what
message
it
you
is.
and say they're in a playoff spot, Ron. So, you know,
Hey, I put a post out today on X asking if the people think that the Flyers are going to make the playoffs, yes or no. And then not long after that, I put a post out saying I do not feel that the Flyers are even remotely close to being a playoff team. That they
yeah.
need 1 to 2 more years at least because you still have too many holes to fill and you're playing too many older guys that aren't going to get you where you need to go. Okay, so I'm
But they're
coming out
getting
and saying it,
paid, but they're under contract and they can't get rid of the contracts. That's
and
part of that's
and
part
yep,
of the problem here. I
yep,
talked about this a while ago. You have Travis Konechny. He's on a long-term deal. If the Flyers are good in 2 years, 3 years, he's well into that deal now.
yeah,
How effective is he going to be?
yeah,
Sean Couturier by then might be gone. They may buy him out by then or trade him and eat some contract, whatever. That may happen. You know what I mean? Like so, as you're ushering in these other guys that you're counting on are gonna maybe be gone or be less effective. Like maybe Connectney's a third liner at that point. But then
yeah,
you have to have everything else to replace them, and they have some players to
yep,
replace some of these guys, but they don't have enough.
right,
And that's going to be the next challenge in this whole thing.
yep, exactly.
Because they thought this was going to be a good free agent market. We kept hearing it, and it's not. This year is
Nope.
going to be a terrible free agent market, and next year is going to be terrible too. So unless you can make a good trade, uh, you got to hope the players that you have develop. You know, the
Right.
ones in college, the ones in Lehigh, the ones up with the pros.
Yeah.
Because if you make a trade, at least you can get something that might help you. But you're not getting that stud in free agency because they're just not going to exist.
Right. And unless you make, excuse me, unless you make one of those blockbuster trades to get one.
Yeah, and you're getting rid of like a couple of your really good prospects then.
Right.
So,
Right. Exactly. So, okay. Well, speaking of prospects and
mhm,
other things and all the little happiness, Lehigh Valley did a quick little lose to the Crunch and then come back and win one. So in a shootout, they're still remarkably in third place, and I don't know how.
right.
Right? We're talking
I
about the
mean, I
Lehigh
know
Valley
how they,
Phantoms here.
they're winning some games in
Just enough.
overtime and shootouts.
Yeah.
They're winning just enough. They're playing better defense. They have good goaltending. Like they have
Yes.
good
Oh
goaltending.
my gosh. Yes.
So that's a big thing. So I think that's how, but they're also a team that doesn't really shut out anybody.
No.
And they're
And
also a team that's struggling on the power play and the penalty kill.
well, to see, Russ, it's like you read my mind because my very next the note that I have here that's to talk about next is, hey, how about 12 penalties in the last two games,
Yeah. They've been
right?
taking too many penalties all year.
And then you're over when you get yours.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you out, guys. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to help you out much.
But I do want to point this out. And he scored a shorthanded goal. The Flyers went out and made sure they got Jacob Pelletier in the trade. Then they got rid of him. Now, I'm not saying he was ever going to be a Flyer, but he always could have been a good Phantom. And
Right.
he's leading Syracuse in goals. He's got 15 goals. I mean, there's like maybe Phantoms that would have 15 goals together.
Yeah.
So, like, you had that guy in your organization. And
And
remember,
yeah.
having someone in the AHL helps the other guys develop too. It's not all just about the NHL. So, you do have to wonder about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that does kind of give you a bit of a pause there for that one. Um I'm really liking though I'm really liking what some of the players on the Phantoms are doing. You know, the Richards, I'm liking how Bonk is coming along. I'm
Mhm.
liking Barkey. I'm liking what these guys are doing. It's just they just kind of make those little
But
missteps, you know what I mean?
Punk, as we said, is going to add big, big points.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. But either way,
Sorry, my internet acted up there.
yeah, that's okay. Like you just kind of stopped for a second there. But these guys are playing better. Bonk is playing better. Bump is playing better. They are going to make some missteps. They are going to make mistakes. But that's what the AHL is for. That's where you for you to learn your game and learn how to, become that professional. And I still
Yes,
like the Phantoms. I still like what they're doing, even though they're making some little missteps and things like that. They're winning enough games to put points on the column. They're still staying in third place. If they can
I agree,
maintain
but they
this,
have to score more goals. Like,
yeah. No, I agree, Russ. I agree. They definitely need to score more goals because you're especially when you're taking that many penalties and you're giving up that many power plays to the opposition, you need to be able to score more goals than two or three goals a game. You just need to, you
yeah,
know. So
I mean, if Alexis Gendron ever wants to see the NHL, he's only got 4 goals. Alex Bump should have more goals.
I agree. I
And I'm not
agree.
going to say anything about Barkey because it really is his first time, so that's fine.
Right.
And he's got 7. I
And
mean,
he's got
7 on that
seven,
team
right?
is a lot. Yeah,
It's a lot, right?
so
I
he's
mean,
fine. But there are other guys that could be doing better with this. And that's why it's easy for me to bring up someone like Peltier, just simply because they're lacking goal scoring. And Grunstrom's still 6, is still like probably third or fourth on the team, and he
right.
hasn't even been there in a while.
Right. And he's got 6 goals and he's third or fourth on the team. What does that tell you? I mean, even their leading goal scorers only got what, 9,
9.
right?
Nobody in
And
double digits.
right. So, come on. You got nobody in double digits on the team. Come on. You're 30.
Yeah, I think Bump has 9, and I think
Richard
Richard has 8.
is not. Oh, it's 8. Okay. So there you
Something like
go.
that.
Right. Okay. Need to see more production on the offensive side for the Phantoms, and if we see that because they're getting good goaltending, their defense is playing well. If they can clean up their penalties and take a few less penalties and score a little bit more on the power play, then I think you're going to see
It
this
would help.
team. Yeah, you're going to see a surge in this
But right
thing.
now,
But
they're not a threat to win the Calder Cup. They're not.
no, 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 not even. They are potential playoff team, but they're not a
Sure,
threat to.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they could get back to the playoffs. Maybe they can go more than a round, but it's not going to be much more than that unless they something big happens with development.
Okay. Okay. I
And
mean,
and this is just, again, they have some young guys there that, even Bump, he just had that run in the playoffs last year. It's not like he's played a ton of AHL games. He hasn't.
right. And Russ and I are on that plane or boat or whatever that we feel that these guys playing in the AHL right now is best for them.
It is.
And to not even think about calling them up into the
No.
Flyers, let them stay down there and cook and learn to play and win and get the big minutes down there
Now,
because
I'm not saying you
all
couldn't call a Bump for one game. Hey, emergency, you're in Lehigh, somebody's hurt. You could
right.
play him the one game, send him back down. Sure.
Right. But I'm not talking about like a major assignment, a major
No.
call up, a major anything
Right.
like that. Maybe a game or two. And if you do call them up, don't sit them.
And that's why Grunstrom's up. He was the only guy from a forward perspective that you could call up.
There you go. So there you have it. Well, I'll tell you what, man, we got the full 42 for this one, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
Well, a
We
little
went
bit more than,
overtime too.
yeah, right, a little bit. So, we fortunately though win our shootouts.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It
Yeah,
was kind of me against you. I don't know who
right,
won.
right. So, but we win our shootouts. So, thank you all very much for tuning in and checking us out, man. Thank you, Russ, for all that you
You're
do, man.
welcome.
All the great articles that you put out there.
I
The
did
show
just
that,
put well, it may be out in the next day or so. About 1,100 words on Tynan Lawrence, so that'll be on an elite prospect. So be on the lookout.
ooh, and Tynan Lawrence is a Prospect Watch alum. He was a great interview. That kid, I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
right
he's
now,
smart.
he has got a hockey IQ that I have yet to see anybody in this current draft class with the same hockey IQ that he has. He's one of those types of kids that
Yeah, I
when the
can't say it yet because I don't have an idea with like Stenberg, who's playing in the SHL and the World Juniors. I'll get a better idea, I think.
right,
But
right.
right now, he's up there. No
I
question. It's
agree.
up,
Yeah.
it's up two or three.
Right. And when you talk to him, you can tell he's got his head screwed on. He knows where he
He
wants to
does.
go. He knows what he wants to do, right? And he's in a position to very well succeed and do that. Second or third overall pick coming up in the draft, I think he's going to be
Yeah,
for
he's top five
franchise.
for sure. He could go
Easy.
higher because he's a
Yep.
center. Yeah.
Yep, easy. So, all right, man. Looking forward to that. Great article from the great Russ Cohen. By the way, hop on over to Amazon and type in Russ Cohen and select from any of the number of books that you
But
can
not the
select
guy with
from.
the mushrooms. I'm not that guy.
Right, not the guy with the
Yeah,
mushrooms. All
there's a
right,
Russ
no.
Cohen that forages mushrooms. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it's not me.
Oh, really? Okay, well, all right. No, you went
You could buy
sports
that book
book.
too, Ron.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I won't. I don't forage for mushrooms. I'm foraging for winter classics. I
There
just
you go.
got Russ's last book there on the winter classic. Hop on over there and check that out. You can find Russ at sportsology.com, all those great articles. And Russ, where else can we find all your stuff, sir?
Sportsology.com, NHLDraftBuzz.com. Uh, Also, off the post radio, we're basically we have shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. Also, tomorrow I'll be on Sirius XM with Mick Kern around 12:15, and those are all the all.
Yeah,
Oh, and
man.
GTS memorabilia because I do write about prospects in the collectibles world. So it's gogts.com.
Ah, there you go. Oh, and also don't forget to check Russ out now with Hockey Hot Stove. Be
Hockey
sure
Hot
to,
Stove as well. Yep,
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 be
that's
sure to
true.
check that
I,
out, right?
I have too many outlets. I don't want
See,
to leave
right?
anybody out, and then inevitably I leave somebody out.
Well, so that's why you got me to back you up, right?
Yes.
So I can fill in those gaps there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been
So
doing a prospect article a week for Hockey Hot Stove.
there you go. Awesome sauce, man. Good stuff. All the great stuff you can find from Russ. And thank you, Russ, for all you do, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you, folks out there, for hopping on and tuning in and checking us out. Please hit that like and subscribe button. You can check us out on X at HCKY Writers Inc., or you can follow us at RNJ_media. Also, check out the YouTube and the website. We will catch you all on the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc.